I also remember as a kid around this time, there was a computer game called WWF Warzone that came out. And I don't know if you ever were ever big into computer games ever, but I loved that game, played it to death, and then the sequel that was Attitude. But why I'm bringing this up to you is you all had to do voiceovers, you had to do your catchphrases or whatever, and you and Glenn just seemed to take it so much further than everybody else. Instead of going, "Oh, I'm going to get you," blah, 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 you were like, "Ah," doing all these wacky screams and stuff like that. So that's why I always pick you to be my opponent, because you get the most reaction out of them. Do you remember doing the recording of those things?
Oh yeah. So we were. Oh, you just. Oh, my uterus. Oh, you kicked me in fallopian tubes. We just. I mean, that's just us. I mean, that's still us today. It's not the headbanger thing. Yeah, it's like about the music and stuff like that. But for us, it was just about being yourselves and do what you want to do and have a good time. And that's what we were all about. And I mean, if that's how we portray ourselves in real life, so why not do it on the video game? And that's what we wanted to do. So
Yeah,
they were like, yeah, whatever you guys want to do, as long as obviously it's, not R-rated,
yeah,
X-rated, you say and do whatever you want. So yeah, so we decided to have a good time with it and have fun with it.
yeah. Nothing too fruity, but with the games, you don't have to give numbers out if you don't want to, obviously, but with royalties, what was best for you? The games, the t-shirts, which were pretty darn good sellers as well, or the dolls slash action figures?
The video games were probably the best. Back then they did the video sales. They sold the tapes and,
Hmm.
the cassette tapes, VHS, and then obviously DVDs. Those were good, but probably, the action figures did really well. I actually remember the very first royalty check I got. It was, I say only, sounds kind of stupid saying that, but it was like $2,600. But it wasn't even the dollar amount of the check. It was the amount of action figures that we had sold with our first set of action figures. I was more blown away over the number of action figures we sold than the fact that it was a $2,600 check for doing nothing.
Yeah. Do you remember the number of
Um,
how many you sold?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was up there to the point where that action figure is the one that became the best of. So that was the series one, and it was us, it was the Blackjacks, LOD, and the Godwins. And out of all four of those teams, ours sold the most, which was amazing, especially with the Godwins and with, more importantly, LOD. And that came out with the next year the best of. So we were in the best of series because of that set.
Mm.
But yeah, it wasn't even, again, it wasn't the dollar amount. It was more of, holy shit, how many people actually bought our action figures? And then I would go into Toys R Us and I would buy all of the action figures. I'd have 10 sets of my own action figure, and I would just stand there like this, waiting for the cashier to kind of either recognize, or there was one time the one cashier was like, "Oh, you really like these action figures?" And I'm like, "I like this one set of action figures." And she was like, "Oh yeah, that's nice." And she kept going. I'm like, took all I had not to go, "It's me. What are you doing?"
Did you ever get to the point where you were going Toys R Us and like doing the dark triangles just to like?
No, 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 no. I didn't go that far. I
I'd,
didn't go that far.